This is Alan with Tune Army Baltimore. A gooner and a toffee walk into a bar. Decided to do a shit football podcast. You're listening to the DU Football Show.
Ha, joke's on you. It's not about football. Well, I guess it's kind of about football. What the fuck is it really about anymore?
Generalities of football, I guess you'd say.
Pontification, let us say, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Are you ready to pontificate?
Always.
Because I'm ready to pontificate.
Yeah, it doesn't, no stopping me, ever.
I'm going to say a lot of shit that's going to be wrong.
Correct.
So let's go ahead and start the show. I missed it, fuck.
Early.
Hello and welcome to the Drunken United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I know that they're not actually playing, but I'm not changing the fucking intro. I am your host, Sam Huston, and across the way from me is the socially responsible and social distancing Samuel Graham. Sammy,
Yes, I am.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good way over here. How are you?
Doing great. Yeah, we wiped down the studios and everything,
Yeah.
but then of course we did share.
Wiped down each other.
Yeah, well, I was going to say we did a lot of that in London. A lot of cuddling, a lot of holding, a lot of embracing while we're in London. So, you know.
A lot of slapping hand sanitizer around there, yeah.
By the way, I would like it noted, last week I did ask you how you were doing, and then you got all attitudey that I didn't ask you how you're doing. So when you go back and you do sound check, like a responsible broadcaster should, you'll notice that I did ask you how you were doing, and you just were fucking all up in your emotions.
Oh, well.
So how are you, Samuel?
I'm fine. Doing well. Going a little bit nuts at home. I am allowed to work from home, thank God. So
Good.
I am making a boatload of money at the moment, actually.
Your liquor stores are busy.
They are crushing it right now. So that's going well. I am doing the homeschool teacher thing with Tegan.
Must be fun.
Loads. And then I am, since I can't leave the house, really, I've been doing the stay-at-home husband thing, too. So I've been cooking every night, cleaning everything. Because my wife is still forced to go out and work. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's going to doctor's offices.
God, you would.
But they're all specialists. Specialists.
So their offices are empty because they're not allowed to really be taking any appointments right now.
Correct.
Because no elective anything currently.
Right. So, I mean, there's still people in there with serious skin problems or, what have you, that aren't necessarily elective. But stuff that they don't have to go to hospitals for.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so she's in dermatology places. She's in stuff like that. So hopefully not a ton of risk there. Because a lot of people just aren't leaving the house. If it was elective, they're dealing with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Only very serious things are leaving their houses. So hopefully it's not bad. Keep sanitizing everything and see what happens.
Heard. We're recording at Studio H just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, review when you can, and most importantly, share with one of your footballing friends or just any of your friends. Because hell, right now we're one of the few people actually still putting out content, so come check us out. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, why don't you tell the good people how they can get in touch?
Absolutely. Reach out on the social medias at DUfootballshow. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email, which we did have an email this week.
Yes, we did. And he took his constructive criticism and told us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, there it is. Just the type of constructive criticism I like to hear.
Exactly.
But we'll get to that later in the show, though.
We're doing a whole segment dedicated to it, in fact.
There we go.
All right, so Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry. One of us is incredibly busy. One of us is incredibly busy with data entry. We have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hands throughout this show and every show. Sammy, keeping the old top 20 going. What are we drinking tonight?
Yes, we are. So this week we have Glenlivet Enigma. That comes in at 121.2 proof, which would be 60.6% by volume. So it is a big boy. This got number 8 on Whiskey Advocate's Top 20. There is no tasting notes or cask info. That is on purpose because this is part of their, quote, mystery series, end quote. So we will have to do this the old-fashioned way, Sammy. What do you get out of this one?
Oh, it's definitely some old It's some ex-bourbon because of the lightness and color to it. That's for damn sure. Yeah, definitely some ex-bourbon.
Yeah, for sure. There's a little citrus notes for me up front.
It's like a petrol kind of taste to it.
Wonder if they were fucking with a rye barrel.
Could be.
Like messing with the rye barrel. Rye barrel could definitely, because it's got the citrus, peppery, kind of equated to almost like hoppy-like kind of characteristic.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not the bitterness of hops naturally, but when people talk about hops, they always talk about the citrus level to it. Kind of the same thing, a lot of citrus to it. I'm not getting much dark fruit, so I don't think there's any old barrel involved in this at all.
No, I don't see any of that either. Definitely not. There's a little bit of earthiness to it as it rolls over my tongue.
Maybe some French oak.
Could
be.
Like
just, say like a Limousine, like a, not necessarily a cognac barrel, but.
Doesn't stick around too long, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's much old world to it at all, to be honest.
Tastes good to me.
Doesn't drink like $1.20.
No, it does not. Now that a little bit of water set into it, that first sip I had was a bit hot.
Yeah.
But now that my ice has melted a little bit, it's calmed down drastically.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this is over 100 proof if you handed it to me, but I certainly wouldn't say $1.20. That's for damn sure.
No, not at all. Anyway, you can find this one between $139.99 and $159.99 on the shelf.
So you're saying it's 60% alcohol.
Yeah.
So then it is legally sanitization.
You could sanitize things with this, yes.
All right. So if you think you have the virus or you've been around the virus, are you telling people that is the whiskey to sip on?
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of that, though, check out some great local distilleries if you can't find hand sanitizer. Here in Maryland, one out in Frederick called McClintock is actually making hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
They have it available at the distillery, as far as I understand, for sale in small package. But they're also making it so, donate to them, help them out in 2.5 gallon, almost like a box wine kind of box.
Yeah.
2.5 gallon that they are donating, actually, to hospitals and police stations and places of that nature. Also, liquor stores have been deemed essential in every state that I've seen. So...
Except for state run, they've been closing them.
Yeah,
like Pennsylvania closed.
Pennsylvania closed, that's right. But beer and wine, they kept open.
Right.
So grab yourself a bottle of vodka, make your own hand sanitizer. All you need is 80 proof vodka to do it.
Really?
Yeah. You make hand sanitizer out of Tito's. There was a video on YouTube the other day.
Well, whatever sells Tito's bottles, right?
Hey, do what you got to do, man. I got a big number to hit this year.
80 proof. I thought it had to be minimum 60% alcohol.
No, that's hand sanitizer has to be 60% alcohol. The alcohol that you can use to make that 60% can be anything 80 proof and up.
Okay.
Oh, all right, kids. Well, then let's have ourselves a great little show.
Yeah, guys, let's do it. Should be fun. It's a long stretch there during the distancing to get to one another.
So, as of today, they've actually finally, there's been one news report that's come out and said that the league is going to start on January the 1st. Do we have that as credited by the Premier League or is it
June
just
1st.
June 1st, I meant?
That is via TalkSport, the leading
confirmed
radio.
or just them conjecture.
I will go back to the almighty Google and let you know in one moment.
Because as of right now, the league was postponed till April the 3rd, expecting to be postponed till April the 30th, with no, real determination in sight until you had brought up this article mentioning to me.
So NBC Sports still has the intention of returning on the 4th of April, but that was from yesterday.
Uh-huh.
March 13th.
They're not coming back the first week of April.
No, here we go. SB Nation from 4 days ago, postponed till June 2020.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
All right, so it's still up in the air because clearly the Premier League hasn't come out and officially made a remark on it yet. But that's actually going to get me to what I was going to get to, Sam. We're going to talk about the ifs and whats in the next segment. But my personal opinion is particularly with them canceling the Euros, this season's going to happen and this season's going to get finished. I think it'll be behind closed doors. I think that they will live stream games to all season ticket holders in England, and I think everybody will get to watch their games, but I don't think they're going to be played in front of crowds. But my main point is there's too much fucking money involved to not get the season done.
Absolutely, especially with the Euros being postponed now until next summer anyway. So now the whole summer's open.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to fulfill the fixtures.
And really good professional footballers play year-round anyways because they're playing on their national teams. So
Right.
what is it to have a few months off here, come back and play June and July, and then the next season starts at the end of August?
Right. Well, they're going to have to
it's
start.
nothing to them.
They're going to have to start at mid-August anyway because you have. Well, they'll first off, they'll need to take a few weeks off for new transfers to bed in.
Right, of course.
And try to do some sort of a preseason leading up to this season, the new season. But then you'll still have to start at least mid-August because now the Euros are next summer. So you'll still have to finish in early May.
Yeah, you got to get it
so
done.
those national teams can then collect their players, have a couple of weeks of a training camp, and then do that tournament. So now what I have here from the Premier League app is they now have games still scheduled for Saturday, May 2nd. This is on the Premier League This is on the app, the Premier League app.
Got it.
The next round of fixtures will be May 2nd is what I have here. So April 30th seems to be the date that they're hoping to return. So we'll see. Like I said, TalkSport's a pretty reliable source. They don't normally fuck about.
Do you think they play it off like a game every week, or do you think they try to do some Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday games on people, a la like what they do during Christmas? Do you think they try to jam it up? I
know I'm jumping ahead here, but as we sat here doing our sound check, I kind of Googled some of these questions. The FA has, as of now, pledged to fulfill their fixtures. They have themselves playing no earlier than April 30th. So if they come back in early May, I think it'll only take till middle of June to finish everything.
Okay, real quick, Mel, he missed the lead there. It must be affecting him. The quarantine, all of it, it must be getting to him because he's reading the notes. He read my notes and Googled answers to my questions.
I got nothing else to do.
Clearly, he is infected. He is going slowly insane. He is listening to. He's reading my notes. I mean, it's all I've ever hoped for, Sammy. Sammy, thank you.
I read them as we did sound check.
All it took was a global pandemic.
I don't care when you read them. The fact that you read them, that's a first. You famously go, fuck your notes. I don't read dick.
All right. Anyway, the FA has pledged to fulfill the fixtures. They also say no earlier than April 30th to restart that tournament. So you're going to have to double up games at some point because there's still teams playing in there. Newcastle, Arsenal, and the lot. Not Liverpool, though.
Yeah, not Liverpool. What about Champions League?
Champions League, Europa League are still. They have postponed the finals from May 30th.
Is Liverpool playing in the Champions League still?
No, they got knocked out of that too.
Okay,
the day before the world ended, they got knocked out.
Yeah, bad timing.
Absolutely,
must have been windy.
Must have been full of the Rona. So those right now, I can't find a date on those at the moment. So those are quote until further notice. But the finals for the Europa League and Champions League were due to be played at the end of May. I think the Champions League was May 30th. So you can't imagine those would be any earlier than June 30th.
Right.
Because they still have a couple of rounds to get through there. But they just finished the round of 16 or quarterfinals.
You're going into the quarterfinals.
We're going into the quarterfinals, right. So there's still 3 rounds left.
And quarters and semis are
2 legs still.
Are 2 legs, so that means
so that's
2 weeks. So
4,
that's 4 weeks. That's a whole month worth of games.
Well, so that's 4. Well, no, you can do 2 games each day. You could do all 4 games in a day. A week later, do all 4 games in a day.
Right.
So that round can take 2 weeks. Then the semis 2 weeks. So that would be the month of May if you did it.
Right.
Then you have the final.
You got to figure
early June.
You got to figure they're going to have to throw a single break in there between the quarters and the semis, especially if you're going to have FA Cup and then, of course, all the other domestic cups for, Germany and France and Spain and all of that. So you got to figure it'll be 2, a break, then 2, and then go, a break and then do the final.
Right, but then teams like City, who are still in the FA Cup at the moment, they're still in the Champions League at the moment, aren't they?
City can win the treble.
Win a treble.
Win a treble, just not the league.
Right.
God.
A cup treble.
Yeah, win.
The treble is the League, FA Cup, and
right.
Unless you're Jose Mourinho. Then it's just any fucking 3 trophies you get your hands on. A participation trophy could count.
Which is currently what looks like Liverpool's about to win this season.
The other interesting thing is the summer transfer window will be open while league games are still going to be played, potentially.
And, I mean, some people may be up in arms about it, but honestly, how's that any different from the January transfer window?
Right, but it's all, and for me, at least, it's also not going to affect the season. I mean, Liverpool's not going to lose that much of their squad that they lose the final 8 games they had on billing.
Right.
Where City then wins 8 straight and lifts the title. For me, that's not going to happen. Liverpool will pick up the points necessary to lift the title.
They're going to win the title. Yeah.
So just be resigned to it. I guarantee you they're the ones fighting to make sure that now that the Euros have been postponed, Tokyo also postponed today, the Olympics.
Yeah, that's right.
So now there's nothing. Now it's we can finish this season when this shit calms down.
Right.
And I Liverpool has to be at the forefront after not having a title for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
They definitely, well, they either want it handed to them or they want to hurry up and win it. I would say, legitimately they want to win it, but
well, absolutely. My thing is in terms of that, which we'll come on to in the second half. At minimum, you have to bring all the teams up to the same amount of games.
right, yeah,
But that's just one of my potential.
right.
outs.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can go ahead and talk about that one real quick. If you were just going to say, okay, the season's over, you have to figure out a way to have City and Arsenal play each other,
Right.
and a way to have Villa and Sheffield play one another,
Right.
You have to, especially because for you, it's close enough to be a Champions League spot.
Yep.
So you deserve to play that match. And for Villa, it's a matter of survival, or for Sheffield, it's a matter of a Champions League spot.
Exactly.
So at worst case, you have to go, okay, we're ending the season now, but we have to these 2 matches have to play, so everyone's played the same amount of games.
Absolutely. The other question I have, which you don't have on here, is can and will the Court for Arbitration of Sport meet to discuss Manchester City's appeal, or will they be backdoored into a Champions League place because that court will not see cases
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great point.
due to the Rona?
I think
Of course, can't they have a virtual meeting?
Can you get some of that in your mouth next time?
I know. I tried to drink a beer and throw out suggestions at the same time, and I failed.
Went dribbling right down there.
Sammy, I remember my first beer. Do you remember your first beer?
do
It
remember
was
mine.
really tasty, that first beer.
Like they could do a Google Hangout and discuss it.
That could be. They may do a Zoom, which we'll talk to you about at the end of the show.
Exactly. You know what? I like that notion, Sam. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it did get put on the back burner.
Right, in which case Sheffield United wouldn't be playing for a Champions League spot because they're currently in 5th. They'd be in the Europa League anyway.
Right.
So what do we do here?
Are they close enough?
The other thing,
No, is it Tottenham's in 5th and they're in 6th, I think. I think Tottenham could jump Chelsea.
here's the other question, though, in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
Qualifying for the Europa League and Champions League for the 4th place finisher in the Champions League, obviously, in the Europa League in the 6th and 7th, typically, because somebody in the Champions League normally wins the FA Cup.
That happens in late July, early August.
It normally happens in late July, early August. If we're playing these games still,
You can't start it.
can you do that?
You got to push it
Now,
back.
they are typically still midweek, so you might be able to still do it.
Yeah, but how can you
teams fulfill those fixtures?
But how? I mean, if the league's not done yet and the team hasn't secured European position, how can you let them play for a European competition that they haven't necessarily secured? Now, now it will likely.
Well, very true.
In all likelihood, it'll be done by June the 30th. You have to. Safe assumption they start in May. They're done by June. That's probably what will happen. Which is great. We got less summertime stuff to have to talk about and try to figure out shows for that. So that works out well.
Yeah, we could. This is our summertime shows,
Yeah,
basically.
clearly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God I made us do shows last summer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So with that being said, I think we're both pretty much in agreement that there's just too much money involved for there to not be the league.
No, they will finish it. Mainly because, I mean, there's broadcasters that have paid a shitload of money for these rights.
Yeah.
That have already said, "Are you going to give us a rebate?"
Yeah.
And the Premier League's like, "Fuck you, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't giving you a rebate."
And that should be the answer.
Exactly.
There's And you want to think about who's probably profiting off of Corona time. I'd say TV stations are definitely feeling a bump.
Oh, yeah. As long as they keep running marathons of Chicago PD and SVU, they are.
What else are people doing?
For me. Oh, also, new Netflix series you need to check out. The English Game.
Okay.
It's about the foundation, basically the transition into modern football from mob football, basically.
Oh, fabulous.
In the late 1800s.
So it'll talk about my boys a little bit, won't it?
No, it's not. So it follows a fictional team called Old Eton,
Okay.
which was gentlemen from a private school that essentially took mob football and made it a proper game
Okay.
that was meant to be played by gentlemen. And it's the FA Cup, basically story through the season where they are playing northern mill workers teams.
Oh, the mob
and
teams.
how they're upset that this was supposed to be a gentleman's game and how these mill workers are now coming into our competition and blah, 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 blah. And one of the mill teams kind of illegally brings down a couple of Scotsmen to play for them, and they're getting paid to play, but they have a job at the mill.
Right,
and
right.
free room and board and all that kind of shit from the mill
Sounds
owner.
very
Yeah.
mobbish.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's an excellent show.
I will definitely check it out.
I'm 3 in.
Uh-huh.
3 episodes in on the 6-episode first season, because my fucking child wanted to hang out while I was home. For God's sake. For God's sake.
What is she thinking?
I know. I had to stop to cook dinner last night. It was pissed me off.
Jesus.
Pissed me right off.
The responsibilities of fatherhood.
Damn, it's Rona time? It's island time, apparently.
Yeah,
Corona.
is island time.
I've got so many people texting me.
She played that It's Corona time
Yeah.
song, and she went straight to the island game. Oh, that's what we're doing?
All right. So, Sam, what I want to do in this next segment is go to Fantasyland and play a little what if, right?
Oh, Toonland.
Yeah.
Fantasyland.
Heard.
First time in the 5th round of the FA Cup for a very long time, those lads.
So, burying the lead a little, but here's an email from our Newcastle, one of our Newcastle Be More supporters, Keith. Thank you very much for getting in, and I'm going to read your entire email because it's nice and short. I'll make this one quick so you guys can fuck yourselves. Well, he said F yourselves. Just go ahead and write fuck. You're not going to hurt our feelings. Assuming the Premier League isn't able to play all remaining games, how would you like to see things handled? My cousin suggested no relegation, promote the 2 teams from the championship, and have an extended season next year with 5 teams to get back to that normal number. That sounds like a fun season. What about the season? No, that's my question. Duh.
It's
Great
Corona
writing.
time.
It is Corona time.
Do.
That's one that's been thrown around a lot. And in theory, like, let's, both of us are already on the side of the league's going to happen, the league's going to get completed. But let's say they did that. How would you feel about that?
I'm
You
a
can't.
huge fan.
You can't.
I don't want to relegate.
No?
You can't do it.
Okay.
Because now the European Championships are happening next summer. We have to have a hard end by May 30th.
And having 22 teams then means you really have to double up the load.
Absolutely.
You have to find yet another 2
You'd have
weeks.
another 4 weeks. The FA Cup, well, the FA Cup would be the same length because you have the same amount of teams. Actually, no. You'd have all of those teams would have the third round, would have the bye until the third round.
Right,
So the second half of the FA Cup would be longer.
right.
You would have it wouldn't work because the Euros are taking place, period. It's next summer.
Right.
So that's it. While it would be fun. It'd be a joy to watch.
Oh,
and
it'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be great. It won't happen. You can't do it.
The one thing I would say is if you did that, though, it would definitely add to the disparity of how shit the league has been. I'm not saying that
Yes.
West Ham and Leeds are shit, but let's face it, the league has offered very little in the regards of parity as far as the top goes. It's been,
absolutely.
It's been Liverpool all season. To a lesser extent, City and the Foxes have hung around. And then after that, it has been inconsistent as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been consistently inconsistent because Chelsea doesn't deserve to be where they are in fourth.
No, they don't. They don't deserve it. And somehow, like I think I said this a few weeks ago. Watch Manchester United backdoor their way into a Champions League spot, and we're all going to be going, "How the fuck did that happen?"
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They're legitimately going to backdoor their way into a Champions League spot. Fucking Ole's going to keep his fucking job, and somehow it's all going to come together for him next year. Like it's fucking insane.
Yeah. I would tend to agree with that. I want to get back to the abbreviating fuck part at the beginning of the email.
Okay.
That's like saying, hey, no offense, and then following it with an offensive state. Just spell it out.
Just
tell me how you feel, man. It's all right.
Fuck ourselves.
Yeah, just say it. I'm more pissed off when you abbreviate it. I can't handle the insult.
You know,
what do you really think of me?
Shorten the paragraphs, not the words.
I know, bitch. Okay, I know, bitch.
But I actually that's one that's been being tossed around a lot. And you would say, why not promote 3 teams? Well, you know what? If you weren't first or second in the Champions League, that guarantees automatic championship. That guarantees automatic promotion. The other spot is up to 4 teams.
So just in my opinion, with the Euros, that would be 22 teams, which would make what a 21 doubled is 42 game week.
Yeah.
With the FA Cup, the League Cup, Champions League, the Europa League, that would be too much of a strain on the players. Then to turn around and play in the European Championships, because you got to figure at least some of the players from the top 7 teams in England are going to be on their national sides.
Yeah, but the championship already does that because the championship.
Yeah, but what championship players are on their international sides?
That's true. Very
that
true.
actually make it to the Euros.
Right.
Not saying that they aren't.
There's occasionally a few, but they don't normally.
I mean, Timo Pukki was on Finland, but this was their first ever major tournament that they qualified for.
Precisely.
So. How many of you get some Northern Ireland players? Sure, you get some Republic of Ireland players here and there, but in general, most of the people that are playing for their national sides are playing for top tier clubs in the top 5 leagues in Europe,
right,
or Holland, right. So, to that vein. It would just be too much.
Right.
It really would. It would be too much.
Now, let's say they decided to shorten the season. Now, we just talked about in the last segment saying, well, you have to make sure that everybody's at an even games in hand because legitimately, Villa's life depends on one game then.
Yes.
So you can go ahead and say that again since
I had myself muted because I'm a good producer. It does. Villa's life depends on these last few games, and I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. On the plus side, all of Villa's players will be nice and healthy and ready to go.
Yep.
But so will everybody else.
Correct. Absolutely. I would also like to call into your definition of good.
Oh, we're not.
Into question there
yeah,
because we had Island game. We were late with the button.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. I'm not. Okay,
we talked into a muted mic.
I've already had some rum before we started, and then you gave me an 120 proof.
That's true.
Whiskey,
to be honest,
you brought a beer.
That's fair enough.
I'm just saying.
That's fair enough.
It's a little slow on the broadness because I'm a little slow on the button.
Heard. So Sammy, I'm
an equal opportunist, dickhead.
Yes.
I told you that.
So I'm gonna try to tread as carefully as I can. Have you seen on Twitter? They're doing a English footballers with tits, and it's cartoon drawings of English footballers with boobs.
No, I've not been privy to this.
I'm googling now.
Tyrone Mings, brilliant. There's the picture of him. He retweets it and goes, probably what I'm going to look like when we get back to playing football.
Brilliant.
I mean, it was brilliant. Just like, it looks like a 5th grader drew them. I mean, it's the worst ever.
That's hysterical. Footballers with tits here.
Yeah.
At Footballers with Tits on Twitter.
David Beckham looks like Sinead O'Connor.
Oh my goodness! Oh, hey, you got £20 for a digital design. You can get the design on a mug for £15. If you get in touch.
Yeah,
it's
Wayne Rooney pushing his tits together.
That's at Footballers. That's at Footballers with Tits. Oh, Declan Rice's look voluptuous. I guess he's already got the starts of them then. Because the way these things look.
Mings was the best. Just he retweets it. Yeah, this is probably what I'll look like when we get back to playing football.
You know how slight Bruno Fernandes is?
Right.
The new Manchester United player? Flat-chested still.
Fabulous. I mean,
back tits. That's funny, Mel. Look. And they got it on a mug.
Oh my gosh, I'm still looking at
Oh,
these.
very
I'm to there.
funny.
I like where Billy Sharp is got like his hands on his hip and he's posing a little bit.
Man, these are
I haven't found the
fantastic.
Mings one yet.
Oh, Robert Perez
There's
is pushing
6
his
pages
together
of
too.
this. Oh my
Just,
god, there's 6 pages of
I would
this.
say, Mel, just go to Twitter and find Tyrone Mings and look. I'm sure it's probably his like pinned tweet right now because
Well, it's
it's really
alphabetical. I
brilliant.
could also do that.
Jeffrey Schlope's got some pretty little titties, that. Old Roy Hodgson.
The show has come to a
No.
screeching halt while we're looking at
This
these.
this would be
no way.
this
Roy
would be,
Hodgson's is too high. He's
is
70 years old. They'd be sagging right down.
This would be one Mr. Houston thinking, what do I hold back to throw at the two of you to completely engage you into something random? And again, y'all may call me a tyrant. I call it brilliant fucking production.
Oh, okay. So I'm Tyrone Mings. Oh, it's great. Like, they're perky, actually. He's got a little bit of hip action on him.
Let me
and
see,
he's
I
got a
couldn't find
lovely,
it.
like, beguiling smile, too.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. And
That's
with
all
that
right.
with that picture, his tweet just said, yeah, what I'm going to look like when we return to football.
Who's the one? I think
I'm texting this to Lindsay right now.
I think she might
She's
be
a good Christian girl.
Spanish.
Don't do that.
I think she might be Spanish. Who's that transgender woman that is, I believe, Spanish, but I think lives in London, that rocks the full beard while being dressed as a woman?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
She was on Graham Norton
I don't know.
a couple of weeks
I
ago.
don't know.
I don't know.
Saw the
I
clip
don't
on
watch
Facebook.
Graham Norton.
Look her up.
I don't watch Graham
That's
Norton. You know
what
when I watch
Tyrone
Graham
Mings
Norton
looks like.
I watch Graham Norton on Facebook, the little clip videos, which are pretty fabulous, by the way.
Yes. No, that's where I saw her. It was shared like a week ago. But anyway, Cher gave her wig advice.
Nice.
Yeah, but she rocks a full beard. But she kind of has a British twang, so I think she lives in England. But I think she's from maybe Spain or Italy.
Kind of like
You have
our
to look it up.
like our boy David, born in San Diego and has lived in the Chelsea supporter at the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
born in San Diego, but has lived in England the last 20 years and
Yep.
has
Still has family in Colorado.
Yep, and
Yeah.
and I believe is currently in the States because he said "fuck England" was exactly what
I think what he said, yeah.
had to say.
He said, "Mate, this shit's about to blow up here." Is what
I
he
am
said.
getting the fuck out
Yeah.
of here. I got that Queen picture money. I'm getting the fuck up out of here
That's
right
right.
now.
Yeah, that's right. We should, on the way back, if he's got a layover here, we should tell him to come take some shots.
Yeah, come have some alcohol with us. Hang
No,
out.
photo shots.
Oh yeah.
Do some promo shoots.
Oh fuck yeah. I mean, like you're an amazing photographer that just made like an iconic picture.
Yeah,
Why don't you
you
come
know-
take pictures of our two dumbasses
Yeah.
for free?
You know
Because we don't value your time and your profession and your opportunity to make $1. We're just gonna go. Well, we had a couple of pints and got pissed together one night. Why don't you take pictures of us?
You have a closet full of bartering items.
It's very true.
Here's a bottle to take back with you.
Yeah.
Come take a photo, me and my friend, at a bar that you know that's closed that let us sit at for a second.
Brilliant.
Easy.
Okay. All right. So, the main thing that we've learned from all of this is that in the lovely world of Fantasyland, if the season was to end, I would find it to be just amazing that Liverpool would, quote unquote, win the league, but not really win the league. And there'd be an asterisk. Hell, there'll be an asterisk next to their name no matter what now. I mean, it was already, I mean, I personally, I'd rather it be more noticed that they, don't win any other cup competition, because until, this round of the FA Cup, they weren't even really trying. Now, granted, they beat the shit out of my full squad, not trying.
With their academy team.
But they weren't really trying in the League Cup and got their asses handed to them 5-0 to fucking to Villa. They weren't really trying in the FA Cup, and then And then a team that apparently packs the bus in still managed to score 3 fucking goals on them in a single match.
2 were counterattack goals as Liverpool was pushing forward like crazy.
Still scored 3 fucking goals for a team.
I know, but they did pack the bus. That's it. And Liverpool poured forward. I know you want to take a dig, but this is regular tactics of the game. This is normal. They packed the bus and they had a couple of people up front. And as Liverpool poured forward, Atletico hit them on the break 2 extra times.
And the sore loser bitched and moaned about how they did it. And then they asked Simeone what would he call the tactics of his football club that night? What is it?
I think he said winning.
Winning. Yes, he called it winning.
He Charlie Sheened it.
So, yeah, I think nice little asterisk next to the Liverpool name. Although I do have to say we did defend. We talked with our boy Josh. We talked with Russ. It was like, if you could have nothing but the Premier League, would you take the Premier League? And they were like, yes, we'll take the Premier League. So I guarantee you, them as fans, I mean, put the shoe on the other foot, and it was my club. It was club looking at that. I wouldn't care how it happened. I would just be happy that we won a fucking title.
Absolutely.
And particularly for them, for how long it took them to win a title,
100%.
But still a participation trophy. It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time.
I got mine. I put $1 million on no football being played this weekend. $1 million.
Yeah, I don't think there's any book taking that bet there, Killer.
They'll give me 1 to $1 million. I'll win $1.
What about the Ukraine league?
I'm surprised.
Are they playing?
Yeah, aren't they still playing?
All right, let me justify it. In England.
Heard.
Are there bets on which footballer is going to get the next, come out with the next positive? I wouldn't be surprised if there's not prop bets on which celebrity is going to show up positive next.
I think they closed them though, the bookies. So I don't know that anyone's betting.
Is that considered non-essential?
I don't know. They have online, so they may still be offering odds on stuff.
Kitty has been pacing the pen. Definitely a little worked up. You can tell she's got a little itch. She definitely wants to be betting some matches right now.
Kitty wants to know if you're going to do like a Facebook Live or something when she's awake, because you keep doing all of your videos after her bedtime, and she does need her beauty sleep. 12 hours.
You know what? We'll figure out maybe sometime this weekend we'll do a little Facebook Live with me and Kitty the chicken, just a man stroking his chicken on Facebook Live.
You stroked it earlier. In the show, you stroked it earlier.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was your dick.
Yeah.
You're wanking it all about there.
Hey. This is not injury time. This is the regular show.
Sorry. I was just
Save that talk for the paid
talking
content.
about him dick waving about Tyrant, but yet I'm brilliant again, all that stuff he said.
He's always doing that.
It only took a week. Our degenerate found a bet to make. Pat chimes in.
Hold on.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
I have production.
You're absolutely right. You know
Thank
what?
you.
Can't sell it short. Got to use the production. Very,
We paid for that production.
very, very good. So I bet the over-under on President Trump saying very good in his next press conference at 62. I'll take the over on it. $5. Any takers on the under? Actually, Pat, I will take the under on you for $5 because I'm also itching as well.
That's a bad bet.
But
Very bad bet.
That's a bad bet. He'll say it in the first sentence.
No, over 62 times.
Oh, 62.
The
And he
number
has
is
to say-
62?
And it has to be the word very good. If there's one thing we've learned from the Cheeto, he'll start to say something too much and he'll
62.
change it to another word
62
that
is
he
a
will then
high
say
number.
a lot. So I'm going to take your bet, Pat. You and I are on for $5 the next
I
presser.
changed my mind, Houston. That's a good bet. I don't think 62 is a high number.
I'll see your $5, man. I see your $5. So I'm going to go ahead and take the under on that one. So, well, that's all for the betting segment. So that's all. Just I wanted to throw in a little prediction time because Pat took time out of his busy day to actually create a bet. So that's all.
I gotta see.
I guess not.
Hold on, I gotta see what the rest of this is. It doesn't have the other team's name. The Belarusian League is still on apparently March 27th at 11 a.m. This is on us.888sport.com. It's trending. The Belarusian League is trending because there's nothing else to fucking bet on. I just want to throw out the team name real quick.
Yeah.
We ready?
Yep.
Torpedo Belaz Zerdinho.
Torpedo Blaz
Belaz Zodino.
So we're just going to call them the Torps.
I don't know.
Who are they playing?
It doesn't. It's FC ... because the first name is so goddamn long they can't even write the other one in. I have no idea who they're playing.
Sammy, are you going to bet that this weekend?
Here, hold on. Bet offers. Both teams to score. Oh, here. It's FC Belshina Babrushk.
Belshina Babrushk?
Babrushk.
It sounds like something you should wear, not an actual football club.
I know. It sounds like something Karen should be mad about, like he killed an animal and it's like a scarf or something now. A Torpedo is heavily favorites at -180 versus Belshina Babrushk at +410. And it's at Torpedo Belaz.
So they have the Torpedoes have the home field advantage.
That's right. What famous person in American history, Mel, said, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead"?
I'm going to guess it was an admiral.
It was.
Your mom?
No, bitch.
Admiral who?
Admiral, your mom.
Admiral Farragut.
Oh.
In the battle for New Orleans.
Nolans.
Yep, at the Battle of Nolans, which was a famous naval battle,
Yes.
obviously. As he was storming the port,
Right.
he said, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." And torpedoes back in those days, this was during the Civil War, torpedoes in those days were essentially landmines, but in the sea, right? So they were mines that were sunk with weights at a certain temperature, so ships couldn't see them, but their hull would hit them and explode.
Boom.
Yeah. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
That's a great line.
cool.
That's it.
When that's the motto for the
Gangster.
Torpedo Zaba Zubi Zubi Baba Zubis.
Torpedo Belaz Zodino.
Yeah, that's what I said.
All the mute button. Just go ahead and hit the mute button.
Oh, for Graham? That's kind of rude.
No. For you.
Oh,
we've
for
heard
you?
We've heard enough, Mrs. Houston.
Oh, okay.
This is fun. Let's go back to see who else is there.
Okay.
April 21st, so that's not playing. Again, the Belarusian Premier League is in. So we have Rubrest, Ruhbrest, Rubrest playing Energetek, BGU, FC Slutsk. Yes, I'm betting on Slutsk. Sam, pull the book out.
Okay, Slutsk.
FC Slutsk, Slutsk. They are +700 against Dynamo Brest. FC Slutsk is playing Dynamo Brest. Dynamo Brest.
Speaking of slutty breasts, you need to look at the coffee cup with James Milner.
Oh, goodness.
He's got his
Milner.
arms up in the air.
Wow. It's party time over there in Milner Town.
That's great.
Did you show Sam that?
Milner's gone wild.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's definitely some Milner's gone wild.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so FC Slutsk versus Dynamo Brest. We're going to go with the under 2.5 goals at +106 just to fuck around. Not towards our bets, obviously.
Got it. No problem. You have to keep track of that then.
I'll find it. Don't worry, I'll find it. This is supposed to happen on Friday, I believe.
She just
Mark-
showed me.
God.
She just showed me Jordan Pickford.
How does he save a goal with those things?
Wow, that's
Jordan Pickford is rocking like triple D's.
Tiggles.
But if you notice, the arm doesn't even reach past the booby. It's little tiny arms. That's what I noticed.
Tig old biddies. That's
and
funny.
little tiny arms.
Yeah, tig old biddies he got.
All right.
This happens on Saturday, so just to fuck about to have something to say, I got the under 2.5 goals in FC Slutsk versus Dynamo Brest
I got Sam
in the Belarusian Premier League.
I got $1 on Sam Graham getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and looking on his phone and trying to find that game online for free.
I will find it online for free at some point. Yeah, and I will probably get up to watch it just to have something to watch.
I'm thinking about buying Sam the Jurgen Klopp mug.
That looks like that tranny I was talking about.
It's just the smile on his face.
I
It's
got
so
it.
smug. Jordan Klopp with tits.
Fuck him and his veneers. All right, so no DU talk. So, Sammy, I'm going to hijack this with a little bit of an opinion piece for myself, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
All right, so been seen plastered all over the walls of everybody's Facebook pages that the Ocho was going to come out with programming and they were going to have, competitive electricians and cherry pits.
Electronics, wasn't it?
No, it was electricians, like
Literal
building
electricians?
like doing
Oh.
houses and cherry pit spitting and all this kind of fun stuff. And they were doing it to poke fun at themselves. And, and everybody was talking about how they were going to watch it. Don't. You're a bunch of fucking mouth breathers if you do. And here's why. And people can disagree with me. I don't care.
He's got a hot take on this one. I've been listening to a bitch about this all weekend.
It's fine with me.
The bulk of our cable bill is expensive for one reason and one reason only. Does anybody know what that reason is?
The Disney Corporation, which owns ESPN.
And it's specifically ESPN.
Yep.
So ESPN doesn't have any sports right now and they're losing viewers. This isn't the first time that they lost viewers. Over a few years ago, they decided to allow their anchors to be a bit more progressive with their views and talk about what they thought. What they forgot about is that there's a country of people in the middle of the country that are conservative that don't agree with those points of view. And what did they stop doing? They stopped watching fucking ESPN because of it.
Can I help you for a second?
Sure.
There's a section of the country
That's
of
fine.
viewers. There you go.
Don't stop me. I'm on a roll.
I got you.
So with that being said, is ESPN has continuously not progressed with the times, and yet they consistently expect us to give them top dollar. Why? Because they're sitting on their laurels and they're dumb rich. Because they're able to afford things like the Monday Night Football. They're able to afford the SEC. They're able to afford the Big Ten. They're able to afford all of these different college entities and still be relevant because ultimately we have to watch live sports through them. But what they haven't done, and now don't get me wrong, SportsCenter was groundbreaking. When, obviously early on it was Bob Lee and Berman, which I don't like Chris Berman and just general principle anyways. But that's where it started. But it really changed with Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann, The Big Show. I mean, it's what changed the viewing of sports.
Yep.
But what ESPN...
Now you have Scott Van Pelt, who's actually a decent broadcaster.
Yeah, Maryland boy.
And the one that passed, Stuart
Stuart Scott.
who was a brilliant broadcaster.
But-
Good bloke, that.
But back then, even when Mr. Scott was still alive, that type of viewing was still relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would wake up in
Absolutely.
the morning, myself back then when I was a nightclub bartender, I'd wake up at whatever time, and I knew that ESPN was going to rerun SportsCenter again from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I could just watch SportsCenter and catch up on all the sports, everything.
All the sports.
Well, that's changed because every highlight you want, you can watch from your little slave box right here, your phone.
Yep. You could do it on Twitter. You could do it on Instagram. You could do it on Facebook. You could do it on YouTube. You could do it on fucking anything.
And what ESPN has decided not to do is change with the times.
Correct.
They have added content. They have added an app. Oh, which by the way, you can pay extra money for.
And put it behind a fucking paywall.
Right. Put it behind a paywall. And then when you do pay for it, so like let's say, our boy Lars, who's a huge Leeds fan, right? Finally an opportunity to legally pay and watch the games on TV, right? Wrong, because they only show 3 championship games a weekend instead of showing all the content that weekend.
And multiple times, it's not even the good teams in the championship.
Oh, it's shit games.
Yep.
It's shit games.
Yep. Fucking yep.
And you look at the way they provide content is bullshit. The way we are going to get them to change their model, because here's the thing, we all keep spending the money on it, right? That's what we keep doing. What we have to do is stop spending the fucking money on it. And right now, while they have no sports, I'm sorry, let them fucking sink. Let them sink desperately. Let them sink into a fucking abyss. Because you know what? NBC Sports is doing it right. The new Fox stations are doing it better than the old Fox stations did. They're still not great, but they're better. And all this is from ESPN, and then to a lesser extent, the Disney Corporation. But ESPN operates on its own agenda.
Correct. Yep.
They don't deserve our attention. And if they do something cheeky and catchy because, I don't know, a movie thought of the idea of the Ocho and made fun of it. You know what? If I was a producer of Dodgeball, I would be sending cease and desist orders to fucking ESPN right now and saying you're stealing intellectual property. Where's my fucking money? Because ESPN would be doing that to someone else if they were stealing their intellectual property right now.
They have done it. I also think that ESPN probably allowed them to use the name ESPN in the movie.
I'm sure they've got a deal, Cotton.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's absolute, utter, and complete bullshit. Don't support. Don't be a lemming. Don't be a mouth breather.
Flam.
Don't fuck.
So the shit comes out of the bull there, Cotton.
Fucking, I'm going in soft, Cotton.
Cotton, he seems a bit upset there, you know. We should probably get him a glass of water, Cotton.
Fully admit, I was a mouth breather.
Fucking mouth breather.
So his household clicked, yup, we watched it for the Ocho on Sunday.
Fucking terrible.
Terrible. I watched a lot of it.
That story I told about my neighbor during pre-show?
Yeah.
He even said in the comments of that Facebook post about him playing his music too loud that his girlfriend, who actually owns the house, is on everyone else's team. And he just blatantly ignores it and does what he wants anyway. Mouth breather.
I don't care. I still enjoyed it. Because
And Simon, this is for you. Harry Kane, mouth breather. He probably pays for all of the ESPN extras.
Yeah. I am forced to pay for ESPN Plus because I want to see the League Cup matches and the FA Cup matches. And at $5 a month, I can justify paying for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then when they had the winter break, and I'm like, I was legitimately excited to go onto the ESPN app and watch championship games. And I looked through to see what games were playing.
I
was
remember
like,
this conversation.
Oh, shit, I could check out Leeds. No, I can't. I can watch Reading versus Hull, 15th versus fucking 16th. That's my fucking option.
Right.
That's what I can fucking
also,
watch.
not even a derby. Like, they're not even close to each other. I could see doing that, justifying that, if it was a derby, right? If it was, say, Brentford-Millwall.
Right.
Relatively close to each other.
They're both London clubs. That's actually something worth watching.
And actually relatively close to each other in London, right? Nope, it wasn't that. Hull City is up in the Midlands, and Reading is south of London.
Yeah.
In the middle of fucking nowhere.
I mean, give me West Brom, Birmingham. And I think West Brom and Birmingham were playing each other that weekend.
Oh, it's annoying.
Like, it just to see
But that's the thing. They don't give a fuck about football. We've seen that many times.
They don't. And what they don't get is that is an audience they could completely be stealing because honestly, they have the money to buy it if they wanted to buy it.
They don't.
Now, I don't think they want to because it would compete with college football because college football starts at noon on Saturdays. But what I'm saying to everybody is the face of how we view and take in everything is being changed. And all of the properties, everyone is becoming smart enough to realize, okay, hey, you don't have cable, but you can pay $5.99 a month and have HBO Go. You can pay, well, HBO Go is more expensive, but let's say AMC. You want to watch The Walking Dead? You want to watch our shows? Great. $5.99 a month and you can. And you can watch it on a streaming service.
Yeah.
And you don't have to own cable to do it.
Absolutely.
Like, everyone else is changing to a platform and you can't even get ESPN to change the way that they give you sports news.
Yep.
Like they can't even change that.
Well,
you would think someone of that level would be able to change how they portray news into on your phone, like everything.
Well, this is the thing. We invented this, and we don't think we need to change. They're too big for their britches. That's all it is.
So
They're too big for their britches. They are the Trump of the sports broadcasting world.
It's the book.
Sorry.
It's the business book. Who Moved My Cheese? Have you ever read that book?
Fuck no.
Very
I don't
simple
read.
book.
But I haven't read a book since I was 15.
Honey, I've read that book.
Thank you. I mean, it's only like 100 pages.
I don't read books, mate.
it's-
I Google fucking articles because I use my phone for everything.
It's about two mice and the cheese being moved and how they respond to that. And putting it into very simple terms, you have to move with the cheese. You can't just stand there
For
and go,
example,
"Who moved my cheese?"
You came in today and I didn't have your towel over your table that
I figured it out on my own.
And I moved your cheese and you moved with it and you went and got your own.
Yeah.
ESPN stands there and goes, "Where's my towel?"
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah,
that's,
they're the pretty girl at the
right.
party.
That's the who.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying who moved my cheese.
Okay.
And they won't move with the cheese. They won't change anything. They won't. And it won't happen until we don't give them viewership. And
Absolutely.
their stupid little ploy to get people to fucking watch. It worked. And I'm saying to all of you who watched it, fucking shame on you. Shame on you for watching that bullshit. Because they're not doing it to be funny or cute or what. No, they're doing it because they desperately need you to fucking turn on their channel. And you need to hold them more accountable because they seem to be perfectly okay with taking $80 of your fucking cable bill. When you're paying a $200 cable bill, understand they are damn near close to half of your cable bill.
Correct.
That fucking brand alone is that much of your cable bill.
Mel, how much time are we at?
You were at 56 minutes.
56 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with don't fuck off the rest of our listenership
Okay.
because idle hands are the devil's playground. Hashtag COVID-19.
All right. Are those your parting words then, dumbass?
No, they're not my parting words.
Okay, well then give us some parting words.
I was just wrapping up that segment. So my parting words have to do with the question we actually
He
didn't get
muted
to
you, by the way.
into the first segment. Okay?
You're going to see my balls before the night's over. I'm just telling you that.
You said, what does this mean for the sport after it's all done? This was the question that you had in the first segment we never got to.
Okay, cool.
For me, it means nothing. Football will still be king. However, people may not break the door down anymore to go see it.
Well, I was thinking on a more global scale, what does it mean for sports in general?
Oh, now I'm just focused on the football part in my response.
Mm-hmm.
This being said, people may not break the door down anymore to get in because they figured out they can live without it.
Right.
Number one. Number two, if they do break the door down, you might see people may not be as cynical or as protest happy as you've seen because they figured out that life without football blows.
Right.
On the opposite side of that coin. Either way, I think you see stadiums become more friendly. I think football will still reign supreme worldwide. I don't think that'll change at all.
No. Well,
But I think just in general that we will be a bit happier just to have it back, and we'll be less assholes being there.
I predict record numbers the next season.
I'm with you.
On viewership across the board.
No, absolutely.
In all sport. I think people will fucking flock back to sports.
100%.
Because they forget, they forget how important it is of a part of their life. And, you get through a Saturday and you're like, you can't go out anywhere. You're not doing anything. You're kind of like, well, what the fuck am I normally doing at this time of the day? Oh, I'm watching the Masters. Or I'm watching fucking the French Open or Wimbledon. I'm watching Wimbledon. I'm sorry. I said a T in there.
El Ghazi said it this week. I do not have a life without football.
No, it just, I think people will flock back to the sport.
Absolutely.
And I think you will see
but
record TV ratings.
I think we'll be less cynical about it.
Oh, of course.
Protests against Mike Ashley. However, those were justified. Toon Army, I stand united. Those were justified. But I think we'll be less cynical about those things, right?
Right.
Because we got our fucking football back. And that's all that matters. if I want to access it, despite it sucking, as you said in the last segment, I can access it. So but I have my football back, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day. I want to close on one final note, if I might.
Please.
Little meme on Facebook, because it's pretty funny. But also poignant. I don't think anyone expected that when we changed the clocks earlier this month, we'd go from standard time into the twilight zone.
Well said.
Me either. Old school. That's fucking a throwback. Take care of each other. Stay the fuck away from people.
Yep.
And wash your goddamn hands.
Yeah.
You nasty bitches.
So support your local businesses, buy gift cards from them, order carry-out food from them. Realize that it's probably one of your bartenders working. That because their ownership group's trying to make sure they still get a few shifts in. So remember to tip your bartenders, take care of people.
Tip your bartenders.
If you got a little extra to give it. If you don't, take care of yourself, and hopefully friends of people out there are taking care of you as well. I've been trying to do that on my end personally, just helping out as many of my friends as I possibly can. I can't give to everyone, but I've tried to give as much as I can. I'm giving till it hurts.
We are.
Frankly.
We are.
We ate out 3 times last week.
Yeah.
Carry out. Just
lots of
supporting our
carry out.
local businesses in Baltimore and trying to keep people afloat as best we can.
And on that carry out check, tip. Give 20%.
Yeah, and
for $50 tab, give a $10 tip. Give a $10 tip.
We almost forgot to mention, they also have set up virtual tip jars in virtually every major U.S. city.
Yep.
So do that. Give to those charities as well. But I do want to mention, because we almost forgot, Zoom.
Yeah.
We're going to have another cocktail party?
I was about to get to that.
Stop congregating with your fucking friends.
Yeah.
No, this is my part of it.
Yeah.
Stop congregating with your friends. Every day I look across the green space outside of my house. I'm in a townhouse community in Baltimore City. We've got a couple of flat green spots between houses, as most townhouse communities do.
Right.
9 people every fucking day on their lawn chairs sitting outside.
Like, no.
Well, not enough to get dispersed, but also not 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, man. Go to Zoom. Have a virtual happy hour. It's free. 45 minutes. Bang.
And that's a little bit of what we've been doing. We did it on Saturday. We did what we're calling patio time. We're going to do it again, either Friday or Saturday night. If you were privy to it the last time, Houston got blackout drunk because he drank a bottle of bourbon.
I need to look at my schedule and see what I'm doing. I might have a tour Friday night. Oh wait,
no, you
I
won't.
Don't. Maybe I have one on Saturday. Oh wait, nope, that's blocked out too.
Well, you better figure out how to project if they're going to be 6 feet apart.
So
walking down West Street.
No, we're not essential. So I'm doing I'm doing virtual tours. So if you want a snippet of the pub crawls I do in Annapolis, follow Tours and Crawls or a drinking story
on Facebook,
and Instagram and Twitter, and that's where I'm posting all the videos.
And yours truly is making cocktails for every single one of those too, so you can.
And I got wrote out of the script like a bad soap opera.
It's because
you're not around every day.
Social distancing.
I'm still pubbing the show. Don't worry, sweetie.
I'm just fucking you about. Don't worry about it.
The Zoom, we did one this Saturday. We kept it kind of, we put it up quickly and kind of kept it a little low key because honestly, we wanted to see how everything would work out. We are going to do a Zoom again. It'll be either Friday or Saturday. We'll put it up in the Drunkard United FC page. If you are not yet a member of Drunkard United FC, be a fan of Drunkard United football show.
Like at DUfootballshow on Facebook, and you will get an invite to Drunkard United Football Club.
Right. And if you don't...
Or you just search for it.
If you don't, message us and we'll let you in. But we'll put it all up on there. And, Sam and I each smoked a cigar and drank a little whiskey, or a lot of whiskey in my case.
Yeah.
But we stayed on for a good 3 hours, right?
Just about, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nah, well... About 2.5, I guess.
Taylor joined us around midnight.
Yeah, we ended about 12:30, I guess.
Yeah.
As both you and I were trying to woo Nicole.
Yeah. So
at DUFootballshow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, get in touch. Send a DM if you want to be a part of that. we'll make sure you find the DUFC page on Facebook, which is where we'll be posting the updates for the Zoom, and DUfootballshow@gmail.com also to get in touch. Tell us you want to be a part of it, and we'll make sure the link goes out to you.
Keep sending us questions, guys. You just saw we made an entire segment out of one question from Keith. So, but over the next couple of weeks, I think next week we're going to probably play like the whole season's going to play out. I think we're going to take the bottom half of the table and kind of break down their remaining games and see who's going to do what. Because fuck it, we have an hour. We might as well do it.
And yeah.
Yep. And
There we go.
And next up, we're getting ready to do Injury Time. Sammy, tell people how they can check out Injury Time.
Sure. I know it's a bit of information overload, but you got motherfucking time on your hands.
Yeah, take some
since
notes.
You're listening via social distancing. You can find us at www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow. There are multiple tiers in which you can support us. You give $1, and we promise you that we'll take a shot in your honor. At what is it, $5?
$5.
You get a sticker.
You get the pre-show,
The pre-show, the sound check,
and you get Injury Time.
and you get injury
A
time.
sticker with a handwritten note from one of the Sams.
Wow. I don't know if I signed up for that.
It's because it's from me every time.
He always writes a little note with the sticker.
That's cute. Why don't
It
you
is.
tell me about it?
People appreciate a handwritten note. God damn it!
Yeah,
Well,
he
then
does.
tell me, and I'll
It's so
write
pretty.
one.
It's all in pretty cursive. He puts little hearts over the eyes.
I don't do
it's
cursive.
so adorable.
No, mine's chicken scratch. You need a analyst to figure it out.
And
And then there's a $9 tier, where you get fucking everything. You get injury time. You get the sticker. You get a koozie.
we do the
Koozies are separate.
we do
Fuck off with the koozies. Don't quote me.
okay. What we offer in that one is we actually do every month we do a recap.
Oh, we do
of
the
your
recap show.
squad.
Yeah.
Which means for the handful of all-in P1s that are listening, I think Sam and I are going to have to do a bourbon or a whiskey. Like we're going to have
We'll do
some
like
liquor.
a whiskey. Yeah, we'll do a whiskey
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
And we may or may not, as we get drunker throughout the video, do any paper talk that is coming up about your club
Yeah, we can do that too.
instead of a recap about your club. Because now everyone's fit.
Yeah.
No one's playing anything.
Yep.
There's nothing to talk about.
Precisely. And so last week's Injury Time, just to let you know, went 2 hours. So if you become a Patreon subscriber, you're able to go back and listen to every single one of our Injury Times. And last week was just nothing but our Patreon subscribers with questions. So we talked about Tarantino movies, our favorite whiskeys, and we broke it down into categories. Like, I mean, literally, there's a half an hour of us talking about best rye, best bourbon, best single malt, best Irish, and best American whiskey. So,
In retrospect, and #admin, which is why I don't know what the tiers by you, we probably should have saved a couple of those questions for this week.
I already know where we're going this week. Don't worry about it. And trust me, the boys will have an opportunity to think of more stuff to give us next week as well. So anyways, guys, thanks for checking us out. We're going to keep doing the show. We're not going to slow down. We may have to do it remotely eventually, but for now, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. So, boys and girls, till next time.
Wash your motherfucking hands! We're chock full of cunts.